We're talking today with Avette Gaiser, and Avette has been out walking the ward, as we say, for Ward 1 here in Lincoln City. Her first video was Meet Avette, and that can be found on her Facebook page and her YouTube account. But in that video, it was more about you getting to know Avette. And this video, Walking the Ward, is Avette getting to know you. So, Avette, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Super. We're good. And this is first of several little sessions we're going to be doing so that you can share with folks what you're learning out there in Ward 1. And the first question I have for you is, why are you taking this approach to your campaign?
Well, one thing I learned many years ago when I did retirement housing development was the first thing you have to do is a market feasibility study before you can determine whether or not there's a market for what it is you're trying to develop. I'm taking that same approach in terms of running for city council. I need to know what's out there. What are the people wanting? What are they saying? I go to city council to represent them. So I need to find out what they want and what changes they want to have made here and what they like about what's happening and also what their vision is for the future.
So for a couple of weeks then you've been out, you've been talking to the people, and I guess I'm curious, how are the people doing out there on the street these days? What do they have to say?
Well, a lot of what they have to say depends upon how you frame the question. If I ask a question about, what kind of changes would you like to see made in Lincoln City, then I'm going to get some negatives. If I ask the question, what vision do you have for the future for Lincoln City, then I get some positives. So a lot of that depends upon the question. What I noticed through the ward, especially through the businesses, is that this is a tough time, and the business people are struggling. And they're wanting, help from the city that will help them and encourage them in their business endeavors. A lot of the businesses are very concerned about the traffic problems in Lincoln City, the infrastructure, the speed, the fact that people are not able to turn off and on into their businesses to do business. That's been an overriding concern of most of the businesses from 22nd Street all the way up to the golf course.
What kind of vision do some of those folks have for the city or for their business or Ward 1?
Well, I've had some really great ideas come across from many of the people that I talk to. There's a lot of hope out there. There's a belief that Lincoln City has a lot to offer. Most of the people that I talk to realize that we're a tourist economy and that we need to have a message, for the tourists and encourage them to come to Lincoln City and to do business here. Some of the people have come up with different ideas having to do with a local discount card for people that live in Lincoln City to be able to have a local discount because they live here full time. Over 60%, 61% of the houses that are in Lincoln City that are owned in this ward are owned by people that are outside of the city limits. So that really gives us a picture of the fact that only 30% of the people that live here own homes here. So only 30% of the people, of all the homeowners here, are actually participating in the everyday economy of this town. Also, some businesses have wanted to see an anti-panhandling license or ordinance, which would mean that we would get the panhandlers off of the streets, especially as you come into Lincoln City. If that's one of the first things you see, it tends to be not a positive tourist message. I also have businesses that are wanting to see both sides of the street as you're coming into Lincoln City, the highway, to look really good. They're thinking that we could plant some evergreen, low-lying ground cover that would be beautiful all year round instead of what we see when we come into Lincoln City now. To the right of the golf course there, as you come in from Lincoln City from Salem, the beautiful flowers that we had blooming there for a few months out of the year were really welcoming. That's the type of thing that we would like to see more of on either side of the highway. So one of the ideas was to come up with, maybe adopting, getting groups of people to adopt a certain portion of the highway and do some work there that would make it a more welcoming thing for people coming into our town.
The buzz today is all about branding, whether it's a person or a city or whatever it is, and I'm sure that some of your business owners might have some ideas about the branding of Lincoln City. I know there was an article in the paper not too long ago about some ideas that someone had. Did you find anything? I know you've got a background in customer relations. Did you find when you were out on the street people were talking about that sort of thing?
Yes, I did. And, I really believe that the front line, I worked in the front line in customer service, not only in real estate, but for the state of Oregon. And the front line, the people that are answering those telephones, that are out there meeting the public on a regular basis, they're the front line. And the local people that live here in Lincoln City, we're the front line. So I think that we need a public campaign with a slogan that we all promote in this community and that we all advertise. If we own businesses, we all advertise the same slogan. I don't know what that would be. I mean, I came up with an idea of, come to Lincoln City for nourishment. That's just an idea. But there are many other ideas out there. A lot of people have some really positive input. There are a lot of business people and residential people that live in here that have a lot to offer, a lot of creative ideas as to what that might be. And we need to get involved as a community and as a group and come together with some leadership.
So I have to ask the question, you're out and you're talking to everyone and people are talking to you. And I know that this is their ideas, not your ideas. This is your opportunity, Avette. What would you like to say back to everyone watching this video?
Well, I'd like to say that credit doesn't belong to the person that's outside the arena, who points to the person inside the arena, telling them how they could do things better. The true credit goes to the person that's inside the arena, that's really sweating the blood and the tears, and that, struggling to make something happen. And sometimes when we're in there, we come up short. We don't always win. Sometimes we fail, okay? But the credit goes to that person that's in there, at least trying to make a difference, who's daring greatly to do something about the problems or the issues that we face as a community. So what I challenge you to do is get involved in this community and do it now.